And now, ain't no food stamps. Y'all motherfuckers gonna have to hunt raccoons and for Thanksgiving and eat beans and.
I'm here trying to find something to eat because I'm homeless. I have a little one to take care of. I have to make sure she eats every day. So, unfortunately, it sucks to come through shit like this. But what else can I do? What else?
Good evening, everyone. About 9% of Louisiana veterans rely on assistance to feed themselves and their families.
They get that food assistance through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. But as our Josh Minnie reports, that assistance could soon be no more.
The importance of SNAP for veterans is it's an additional source of food beyond the food that they do and can get from Second Harvest Food Bank at any one of our food pantries.
Okay, y'all. So Cardi B just sparked one of the most explosive backlashes of her career. And this time, it's not coming from rival fans. It's coming from angry veterans who are dragging her for filth. Everything blew up after Cardi posted a video mocking people who were upset about their SNAP benefits getting cancelled. She had some not so nice things to say about people struggling, claiming they brought it on themselves for voting Trump over Kamala Harris. But what she thought was a harmless ram turned into a full-blown PR disaster overnight. Many veterans were not here for her comments, and now they're calling her out for being heartless, ignorant, and completely disconnected from the real-life struggles. Social media is flooded with furious posts from service members demanding an apology and accusing her of disrespecting people who have actually sacrificed for their country. But here's the wild part. Instead of apologizing for our backtracking, Cardi is standing 10 toes down and refusing to back down. It looks like we're about to have an epic showdown on our hands, so let's break it down. Okay, so one thing about Miss Cardi is that she's always going to let y'all know what she thinks, no matter how controversial it is. But this time, she might have just shot herself in the foot. Y'all know how people have been terrified about SNAP benefits getting cancelled any day from now, right? Well, Cardi decided that it would be a good idea to go live and clown them. Take a listen. Y'all was worried about me saying Donald Trump and me and my teleprompter not working, that child missed the message. And this is what I was trying to say. Now look, right, Donald Trump was never for y'all poor. Donald Trump was never for the poor people, for the white poor, for the black poor, for the Spanish poor, for the Asians, for the Indians. He don't give about none of y'all mother. Well, this isn't the first time that Cardi is speaking about social issues. And most of the time she's usually spot on, but that's not the case right now. And to make matters worse, she clowned people on SNAP and told them to hunt raccoons for Thanksgiving because they won't be able to afford food. And now ain't no food stamps. Your mother going to have to hunt raccoons and for Thanksgiving and eat beans, and the folks are saying she's being very tone-deaf. Now it's easy to make this a political issue and blame people for not making what you thought was the right choice for voting. But the thing is, there are still people who voted for Kamala who are going to be facing hunger threats because of SNAP cancellations. The thing about hunger is that it doesn't discriminate for who you voted for. And what makes it even worse is that a lot of people affected by the SNAP cancellations are single mothers with kids. People living with disabilities or chronic long-term illnesses and veterans. And y'all, looks like the veterans have seen Card's post and they're furious with her. But before we get into it, we need to talk about why the snapping is such a big issue and why Cardi is getting a lot of hate for her comments. SNAP, or food stamps, is basically what keeps millions of Americans from going hungry. Over 40 million people depend on it, including veterans, seniors, and people with disabilities and families who are working hard but still struggling to get by because the economy is such a hot mess right now. And of everybody involved, it looks like the veterans and older citizens are getting the most affected by it. And trust me, they're not happy. Who are these people that we are talking about who have an audacity to cut how we live and how we eat? Who are these people? Are they real people? Say, we're going to cut this, we're going to take this. Do they eat? Okay. They cannot be older adults and expect for us to exist and do this and do that. I would like to know who they are. But before y'all say that people can just go to food banks and get what they need, let me stop you right there, because the food banks don't even have enough food anymore. See, a couple of weeks ago, the Trump administration made a sudden $500 million cut to a program that provides US-grown meat, dairy, egg to food banks and community organizations across the country. The next thing we knew, they announced the cancellation of SNAP. Now, I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's kind of looking like they're wanting people to starve, because let's make this make sense. To make matters worse, the administration rolled out a series of major changes. They slashed SNAP funding, tightened the rules for who qualifies and refused to use emergency funds, and couldn't keep benefits going when people needed them the most. So, even if the stamps eventually come back, a lot of people still wouldn't qualify. The new rules change the work requirements for a lot of people, including veterans. About 9% of Louisiana veterans rely on assistance to feed themselves and their families. They get that food assistance through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or SNAP. But as our Josh Minnie reports, that assistance could soon be no more. The importance of SNAP for veterans is it's an additional source of food beyond the food that they do and can get from Second Harvest Food Bank at any one of our food pantries. According to Feeding America, a non-profit organization of food banks, 20% of those who rely on food banks are veterans. With the new federal rules, anybody on food stamps has to work or do training for about 20 hours a week just to keep their benefits. So for seniors, that's nearly impossible because a lot of them are dealing with chronic health problems or just can't get around like they used to. And disabled veterans are in the same boat. PTSD, injuries, and other service-related issues make it really tough for them to meet these new requirements. But that's not all. See, in the past, only able-bodied adults between the ages of 18 and 54 had to work, volunteer, or be enrolled in a training program for about 20 hours a week in order to keep their benefits. But now, they have raised the age limit to 64. So many people who have used to be exempt are suddenly required to meet the same demanding standards. The ones who have already sacrificed the most for this country are the ones feeling the biggest impact. And just so you'll know how bad the situation is, some veterans are now resorting to humiliating measures to survive. For example, some are being forced to dig through garbage just to survive and feed their families. I've been here trying to find something to eat 'cause I'm homeless. I have a little one to take care of. I have to make sure she eats every day. So of course she gets sucks and hungry like this. But what else can I do? What else can I afford? Now the government is doing all this while claiming that they're reducing government spending, financial waste and all that. But people are calling BS. While vulnerable people are starving, the government thought it would be a great idea to spend $300 million to build a brand new 90,000 FT ballroom for Trump. And yours president was more than happy to talk about it. Nobody's actually seen anything quite like it. I think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million. It's set to do many, many things, including meetings of foreign leaders, including the honoring of foreign leaders. You can see this, y'all. It's just a hot mess. Which is what makes it even more tone-deaf that Cardi made this video mocking people, which is a lot coming from someone like Cardi who grew up in poverty and her family had to rely on food stamps at some point. 'Cause last year, she tweeted, "I'm a daughter of 2 immigrant parents that had to work their ass off to provide for me. I'm a product of welfare. I'm a product of Section 8. I'm a product of poverty and I'm a product of what happens when the system is set up against you." In another video, she even talks about how badly her mom was treated when she applied for welfare. Then another thing that always gets me in my head is this one time my mom, she was working very hard, but we still needed help. So she went to welfare to get benefit, like a benefit card and stuff like that. And the lady, like my mom, she's the type of person it's like if you rude to her, she going to be like, "Oh, I don't got to take this." And she would just storm out like, "I don't got to take, nobody got going to talk to me like that." She got a very strong character. And this lady was talking so rude and so nasty to my mom, and she was taking it because we needed the help. I don't want nobody to feel like they have to talk to me a certain type of way because I need the help. And it's like this could never ever be me. So for her to have gone through all that and then turn around and be mean to people who were in the same situation is very tone-deaf to say the least. And multiple veterans have been speaking out and less clear. And it's clear they are not amused. For example, in this interview with CBS, a veteran named Rob Ham opened up about how devastated he is by